You keep groaning when you look at these clips.
No, I keep groaning. I'll shut the fuck up.
Because you were young. I mean, it was a long time ago. But are you remembering what you went through when you did the scene? Are you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Definitely. I love Jesse so much. I think he's one of the best actors of our time so much. I want to work with him so badly again. Yeah.
You've done it several times.
Yeah, he's my man. When we were about to, okay, get your shit straight. He had a lot of anxiety in regards to work. Yeah, I know, it's like shocking. That's why we're so good together. I just could tell there were like little gives, little indications that he was like not feeling well, or just like he was just like shaky, sweaty hand. I could relate. And I was like, dude, you need to eat a cookie. And he was like, what do you mean? Why? What do you mean? Why? And I was like, well, I just think that like your hands are shaking and like you're hungry. I think this whole thing's gonna go way better. Let's both go eat a cookie together. And when I was watching that scene, that's what I thought of.
So I want to go back to the beginning of Twilight. Did you really relate to Bella Swan? Was there some cosmic connection between you two? It felt like you did.
Oh. Yeah, like Bella thinks that she can take it. And sometimes she can and sometimes she can't, but she's really in there. Like she's really, I guess if I'm gonna take this remotely seriously for a second, you know.
Which you did at the time.
No, I'm being serious, I loved the idea that maybe you're being an idiot, but there's just this thing, you know, when you fall in love for the first time and you think like, even if it's kind of even if you have to give things up or, you know, kind of become somebody that other people don't recognize and so therefore makes them uncomfortable, to kind of subject yourself to something so strong, it's just sexy, it's cool. As a teenager, you're like, yes, me! And of course I can relate to that. Yeah, I did it for a long time. Yeah.
So Catherine Hardwicke, I thought, did a great job with the first film.
Yeah, I agree.
When she was sort of thrown off it because she wanted to have some time before she prepped the next one, were you upset by that?
I was kept so sort of out of the logistics of why that stuff happened. And, you know, it wasn't like an easy movie to make at all. Let me just be completely transparent. There were so many different perspectives coming in and trying to unite. I will say that movie was like kind of really messily put together. And that's what I like about it. You watch it, it feels like it's barely coming together, but that there is so much passion behind it. And I think that that's a compliment to Catherine, because I think at that stage people had put so much pressure on it, and you know, we didn't know the movie was going to be such a big deal, but the books were a big deal, and I think, you know, making movies by committee is just hard. Like, I would love to keep making studio movies with the right people, but when it just sometimes, basically, I think like all of the faults are its strengths in terms of the first one, because we really came at it just like wanting it to be the best that it could be, and we just didn't really, I don't know, we were all really young. I guess I don't really, maybe I said it. Maybe I should shut up.
No. But you and, to state the obvious, you and Pattinson did have extraordinary chemistry. I remember seeing the first trailer and going, whoa. I knew instantly that this would be a huge hit.
Really?
I did.
Well, good on you.
You didn't know necessarily, but when did it hit you that it was going to be a big deal?
Ruth. I was sitting on my front porch with my dog and my ex-boyfriend, and that moment was photographed and put on the New York Post before the movie even came out. It was like 2 days before the movie came out, and I had never even been papped before. And I look back on that photo with fondness. Probably that moment. And then, I guess like Comic-Con. Me and Rob went to Comic-Con and just like, the
screams.
yeah, the sound.
Hall H.
Sound and the fury.
I was there.
Oh, really?
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
I mean, it was exciting.
Yeah, it was sick. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's crazy.
But did you ever become frightened by the intensity of the fan worship?
No, like not. I guess in a physical way sometimes, and maybe certain energies rendered me slightly more incapable of completing a sentence. But I was never afraid in a deep way. It was just a lot of energy to kind of take into your body in a given moment. But no, I was never like, oh, I don't know if I should be doing this. I love making movies, and I love lots of people to see them. So no, but like, it's a lot, as anybody might. You guys, you get it.
One of the things that's always impressed me about you is that you've developed a certain kind of poise in terms of how you deal with folks like me.
Yeah.
It isn't easy, but you manage it with a certain kind of grace.
I hit and I miss, I hit and I miss. Can't win them all.
So when you were starting to carry movies as the lead, you embraced that. It wasn't frightening, it was exciting.
Yeah, both, for sure. I mean, yeah, like the first couple of times I was a lead on the movie. Once something's actually on its feet and getting up and going, and like the sort of inertia of having an entire crew there, and you have like discussions before you begin, and you've either auditioned or had conversations that have really like brought you close to the individuals that you're making the movie with. And so at that point you're like, when you start a movie and you feel like something could easily stop you, that's the worst, most terrible anxiety. It's like you want to jump off that movie immediately, because typically you start something and you're like, I don't know how this is going to go, but I definitely know that I cannot be stopped. I've been on so many movies where I didn't feel like that.
Well, all right. So were there certain movies that taught you what you wanted to avoid when you chose projects going forward? It's a learning curve, the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I've taken a lot of pride in being a little spastic and, not tactfully maneuvering and not protecting myself and allowing myself to feel kind of, reckless and instinctive. And naturally, you're going to not always fall into perfect scenarios in which you make satisfying movies and experiences for yourself. I think, for a while I was like, if there was one tiny little clam to be like plucked and consumed and enjoyed, I would do it. And then ultimately, if the movie was bad or if I didn't have a perfect experience and I didn't care, now I'm like, no, I can just do a better job cultivating this. But you have to, there are times where I have to be like better at being like, no, because I'm, Moorish and I'm selfish and I want.
What were the scripts like that came your way? Because what I also admire you for is taking on some of these sort of rough and tumble indie movies, often with really low budgets, which you're right, is always risky. But you were like avoiding more experiences like Snow White and the Huntsman.
I loved making Snow White and the Huntsman. I mean, I have avoided other things, but not the movie-making experience. It's not the smaller ones that are treacherous. It's the big ones.
Studio ones.
Yeah. But no, I actually fucking think that movie's good.
And you kicked ass in it.
Yeah, thanks. But no, how do you? I don't know. I definitely don't have like a perfect answer for that. I do feel like my instincts are a little bit more honed and a little bit more concerted and self-protective, but not in a way that is safe. So it's a nice, yeah, I guess if that makes any sense.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, we're going on to The Runaways. The Runaways, and
Please, no more
Clouds
singing.
of Sils Maria.
Cool.